The MLS Next Pro weekend action continues into Sunday, starting in New England as Revs 2 host NYFC 2. NYCFC 2, I should say, in Rhode Island for their first meeting of the season. We've got two sides today who are hunting for some goal-scoring form as the temperature turns up around the country. If you can get it to click on that end, the results will start to come for both of these sides that have a lot of quality to show for in the other capacities. Welcome one and all to the broadcast on MLSNextPro.com or on OneFootball. My name is Mark Schoenster. Appreciating you tuning in and watching today. Happy Mother's Day to all of you who are watching in and maybe cheering on their son and hoping to see him step up and make something happen here in Smithfield, Rhode Island at Bryant University as we now take a peek at our starting lineups. First off, for the home side Revs 2, 4 changes from their lineup last time out against CT United. 4 personnel changes, but a couple of positional tweaks as well. Miles Morgan will be plugging in as sort of a false 9 in the center of the formation up top. Meanwhile, Gabe Darlene returns to his natural position of center back as opposed to playing at the right back spot last time out. On top of that, Eric Klein from the first team plugs into the middle of the pitch, so he'll be combining with Alan Oyerwoth, who also is on the first team, and then Mussenden, who will sit over on the right-hand side. Damari coached by Pablo Moreira, and he is got a lot to be excited about with this team, a lot of size on the roster. Meanwhile, on the other side of things for NYCFC 2, going to be a lot more changes to that group as opposed to what Revs 2 are trotting out. So they will have to manage the experience and the size of this team that the home team is propping as we now take a look at what Matt Pilkington is trotting out. 8 changes from their game on Tuesday against Chicago Fire 2, including 3 players getting their first starts. Joao Loyola in the backfield in particular just got picked up 2 days ago and is now getting the starting spot in the center back position, paired up with Joe Sacecki, where he is far from an inexperienced player in this NYCFC system. So should be fun with him paired up there. And then David Duque and Caleb Danquois both getting their first pro starts. As now we have the teams taking to the field. Our officiating crew in the yellow uniforms, coached by Edson Carvajal. Now we just wait for the whistle to sound. And we are off and running here from Burns Stadium on the campus of Bryant University. It's Revs 2 and NYCFC 2 doing battle for the first time this season. Once again, we welcome you in on the broadcast. My name is Mark Schoenster, excited to be presenting this one to you this afternoon. Should be a fun one as these two do battle. It was a win against CT United last time out for Revs 2 in a game that they are able to win 2-1. Pablo Moreira, or excuse me, they didn't win that one 2-1. They were able to lock that one down and get the result they were looking for in that game. It was a 0-0 draw. They ended up being bested on pens, but it was a game where they played really well and were just lacking that final product. 0-0 draw, lost in penalty kicks to CT United. A lot of positives to take away from that game, though, if you're Pablo Moreira. Mentioned that they had the lion's share possession in that match, and throughout this season, their metrics offensively have been good. Box entries, shots, crosses, they're all great. They're just lacking that final product, and in that game, it was just a bit sloppy in those final stages. And that's what was lacking for this Revs 2 team. So they're hoping to do better in that front today as Shuma Sasaki gets tripped up. Knocked over on the play and drawing the foul. So it'll be a free kick opportunity for the home team. As Joao Loyola, the one who committed the foul. We'll see what Sasaki, in his first pro start, is able to do on this side of things. The Japanese winger. Sasaki with the swinging service. And it doesn't reach any good target. So ultimately a harmless set piece for the home team. And NYCFC 2 will take over. They're the side that came off of a 2-1 result. A victory in the middle of the week on Tuesday. They were able to knock off Chicago Fire 2. Had a 2-0 lead in that one, and Chicago Fire 2 were able to get one back as Sasaki couldn't keep that one in bounds, so it'll be out for another goal kick. Really controlled that first half of action with Chicago Fire 2, did NYCFC 2. Though they did have a ton of talented players in that starting 11, a lot of first-team guys. Matt Pilkington mentioned that Johnny Shore just had so much control in the middle of the pitch for his players. But then as the second half came around, you make some changes, you're up 2-0, and you lose some of that emphasis to move forward because you feel comfortable in the position that you're in. And then you pair that with the fact that Chicago then started chasing the game, and he just felt that his side was just a little bit too negative in their play, but the fact of the matter is they sat in their block, held tight, and he felt they handled that barrage well. And it's a good experience to have to sit in that low block for a good stretch of time. It's not an experience you want to be having every single game, but the fact that they were able to hold on there, it's something you got to learn how to do as a player, because you're going to be in those kinds of games where you're the side suffering, and you've got to know how to hang in there and not enjoy a lot of the possession and just continue to clear the ball away and make sure that it doesn't go in your goal. Both sides just 2 wins in regulation this season, so each trying to pick up their third. NYCFC 2 now will see if they can unlock something here offensively. There's Joao Loyola, 21 years old, from Brazil, who's announced on Friday that he was going to be loaned here from a massive Brazilian club, Fluminense. This one switched over to the left-hand side. Ball ripped into the middle. Knocked away by one of those big Revs 2 defenders, Chris Mbayasem, 6'4". He's paired up with Gabe Darlene, who is standing at 6'3". A lot of these guys on the roster got some bulk to them. Just helped them in their defensive successes throughout this season. They've only allowed 6 total goals. This being their 8th match now that they've played in. So 7 matches, 6 goals allowed. So it'll be a test for this NYCFC 2 team to figure out how to unlock them when they too are still trying to figure themselves out on the offensive end, as this one weaves inside, shot deflected, and booted away. Sebastiano Muzu trying to let something fly there. Had a chance to talk with Gabe Dahlin, one of the center backs today, 4 Revs 2, and the young Swedish defender playing in his second year as a pro now after playing at Monmouth as a college guy, and pretty familiar with the New York/New England area. So certainly not an acclimation period for him as far as geography, but you got to get acclimated to the professional game, and he said that first year was all about adjusting and getting more comfortable. Now here in year 2, he's trying to get his fitness back after working off an injury and then work on the little things. Those little details are a key difference between the guys who play at the highest levels versus those who get stuck in the lower ranks. Especially if you're playing in the MLS Next Pro level. You've got some of those physical intangibles, and now it's just a matter of developing the ball skill, the knowledge of the game, the technique and understanding. And that could come down to just little minor mental adjustments. Of course, every single player playing on the pitch right now and throughout the season looking to prove themselves to not only the coaching staff of this team, but even more importantly to the coaching staff of the first team. Running up the left-hand side, Schneider Mimi threads it ahead, and the offside flag pops up. Looking to combine with Miles Morgan, and although the ball did reach its intended target, started from an unfair spot. It's actually Shuma Sasaki that he was trying to thread the ball to, playing over on that left wing. See some cloud coverage floating over the stadium here in Smithfield. It's a little under 70 degrees right now with about 10-mile-per-hour winds. Not a bad day to be playing the sport, I would say. Deflected over to the right-hand side. Tried to be carried along by Muzu. Visitors able to jostle the ball back in their clutches. See the physicality being displayed by both these teams. Pressing, counter-pressing, the ball exchanging back and forth. Our head official, Edson Carvajal, letting the guys get a bit physical with it. 10 minutes in, that sets the precedent for what you can expect from the game. And, of course, if you're a player, then you hope that that is the standard that's maintained throughout the 90 minutes. Chance creation been a work in progress this season for New York City FC 2. Matt Pilkington in the game on Tuesday mentioned that they got into the box quite a few times, but just couldn't make the right pass or decision. They were able to create some chances, and their movement was good, but they could create more. They scored 2 goals in that game. Of course, when you get some contributions from first-teamers, it becomes a little bit easier. So you have to take games like that with a little bit of a grain of salt. But it also can have a lasting impact even when that's the case, because it's always a blend of second-team guys, first-team guys, academy players, any match regardless. It's just a question of the ratio of those 3 different pools of players. And if you could find success with the more talented pools of guys, then that could still trickle into understanding for the guys who are in those tiers below. It'll be tough to translate it here, though, on the road against a team that has been awfully stingy so far this season. Ball bounce over to the right-hand side as Revs 2 are trying to now, once again, move bodies into the attacking half. Sasaki veering around, trying to get by his man. A player who's more than confident taking somebody on one-on-one. Ball swung into the middle, headed towards goal! And a stretching save from McLearned. Called into action for the first time this afternoon. The 22-year-old goalkeeper with the steady hands here. McLearned from Lincoln, California. Another one of the first teamers playing here this afternoon. Though pretty regular with the second squad for New York. And that save looking to act as the impetus for something going in the other direction for NYCFC 2. Ball be drilled out wide and had a little bit too much force on it, giving the ball back to the home team. Pablo Moreira, the head man in charge of this Revs 2 team, talked about how this is a team that likes having the ball, but that means in this matchup in particular, they need to be ready for the man-to-man press that New York's going to throw at them. He wants to see his guys go direct a couple times in this game after having some success in that regard in the previous match. Edson Carvajal not liking the quick restart. Wants to have a conversation. In that game against Connecticut, Pablo Moreira mentioned that they went direct 5 times, and in 4 of those occasions were able to keep the ball despite going direct. It's a pretty good clip to be firing at when you're making those riskier passes that are going right into the heart of the defense and towards the goalkeeper, so certainly like those numbers. I also mentioned that his guys need to be ready to be prepared for the high line that New York could throw at them in the middle third as directness works into something here. Sasaki, the one with the shot, but it ends up being pretty easy for McLearned. So there's an example, though, of what can happen when you play one of those long balls all the way down the pitch. Donovan Parisian just launching it down the right-hand side, and it turned into an offensive opportunity for the home team. That'll be good reinforcement for that strategy as this game goes forward. Mimi to Sasaki. Shuma Sasaki is getting hounded there. Caleb Denkwa applying the pressure. The Ghanaian winger checking back defensively. A little bit too feverish in his jabbing at Sasaki. He's been busy so far in the early stages of this match. Sasaki on the service. Teasing ball, but too far ahead of any of his teammates. Sasaki has it again. That's a good touch. Sasaki ripping it across the middle and earns a corner. They are looking down this left wing side. Sasaki doing some damage from Kawasaki, Japan. That was a little precarious from the visitors. Falls back out to Sasaki. He'll lay it out to Mimi. Schneider Mimi. Playing in the middle. And that header will spin just to the left of the corner flag. So it's going to be a deep throw-in. This will fall all the way back to Mbaya Sem, who checks it to Oyerwoth. And that'll be rotated out wide. Ball sent in the middle. Not a bad touch. Trying to jostle for possession there is Javon Mussenden. Klein. Slides it to Mimi once again. As Revs 2 are trying to shift into some open avenues. Tight passing. Lifted up in the air. And poked out. Another corner kick awarded. Some frantic defending here from New York City FC 2. So another set piece chance for the home team. Contact in the penalty area. Not to the liking of Edson Carvajal, as now it'll be some reprieve for the visitors who were suffering for a little bit there. Matt Pilkington described this Revs 2 team as a side that's very organized. And when those moments come offensively, they need to step up offensively, commit to their game plan, and pick out the avenues that they've highlighted in preparation. The emphasis this week has certainly been on attacking play, which I imagine has been the situation for a hot minute now for this New York-based side. Here's Danquat. Pressure. Reaping some benefits here for New England. "20 minutes into this match. Probably had the slight edge, the home team. But ultimately, both sides still trying to find that bit of sharpness that they need in the attacking third, which has been the story throughout this season. And these are the two lowest scoring teams, not only in the conference, but in the league as a whole. 7 goals total for Revs 2, 6 goals total for New York City FC 2. That pass fed into the middle. Doesn't reach the intended target. Sasaki. They'll combine with Oyerwoth there. Mentioned a little bit ago that this is a pretty large squad, roster-wise, for Revs 2. Noticed a ton of players standing over 6 feet tall, and the other guys not too far off from 6 feet. You know, usually you've got a couple of shorter players when you are putting together a roster for a soccer team. But certainly a ton of size in this group as Miles Morgan goes to ground, and we get our first booking of the afternoon. Morgan still on the grass as Joao Loyola, 23 minutes into his debut in the MLS Next Pro ranks, gets the yellow card. So that's our first booking. Brazilian.
Issued to NYCFC.
Just a couple of days fresh off the announcement of making his way to the program.
24th minute.
Very intentional, though, with the kind of profiles they're bringing in Revs 2. Pablo Raya mentioned when they walk in, they do kind of look like the Celtics, don't they? With just how big some of these guys are. They have a big turnover in players from last year's roster, but the guys who did carry over, all pretty big dudes. And they like that strong athletic profile, but obviously they need to be able to play the game as well, so combine those two things together, and certainly could be a problem for certain teams if they don't have the strength to match. Sasaki knocked over in the corner of the penalty area. The ref says there is nothing there. Shuma Sasaki trying to race towards that ball after it was fed in his direction. Some smart passing taking place here, and just as I say that, Revs 2 with one that got a little loose. Switch to Sasaki, couldn't be kept in bounds. Launched up the pitch. Darlene provides the clearance. Randazzo on the ball now. Dylan Randazzo leads over to the right-hand side. Cross tried to reach its way to the penalty marker. Wouldn't get there. That's a good-looking feed. With a turn, a couple touches, the shot finds the back of the net. And New York City FC 2 are on the board. Sebastiano Muzu gets his second goal of the season. It's a good pass here. And then Muzu does have to do a little bit of work to find an avenue. He opens the window. And he slots that ball right through it.
FC 2, goal scored by number 81 in the 28th minute.
Sebastiano Muzu, the 25-year-old Italian in his second year with the club. Had 6 goals, 7 assists last season. Now picked up his second goal here in 2026. And for a team that has now only scored 7 goals this season, they're able to hand New England Revolution 2 just their 7th concession of the season. So if you want to talk about building confidence as far as finding some goal-scoring form, do it against a team that has been more sturdy than just about anybody in the league. The only team that's been more defiant defensively have been Dynamo Dos, who have just allowed 4 goals the entire year. Boy, have they been an impressive side. Sasaki. It combines in the middle. They were looking for an immediate response. But the final touch goes straight at Learned. Klein is persistent as he lays it over to the right-hand side. It's a good touch. It's now rolled back to Mario McIntosh. Right back, jutting his way forward. Here's a touch. Dribbling about. Now the shot is taken. It's blocked away. Cristiano Oliveira trying to wiggle himself into some space. A goal from Sebastiano Muzu has given the visiting side the 1-0 lead. And now the home side trying to find some sort of answer. Sasaki. A teasing ball. It dared the defense to do something about it. McIntosh. That one didn't get very far. Muzu with the goal. Cooper Flax with the assist as this one slid down the right-hand side. And a sliding effort from Joe Sacecki keeps that from getting cut across the middle. Sacecki, one of 4 guys making their way to the roster this year for NYCFC 2, whom spent up to several years playing in the college ranks after starting their soccer career in the academy for New York City FC. Left the squad for a couple seasons to get a degree, play college soccer, and are now back here on their first pro contracts. Sacecki and Cooper Flax, 2 of those 4 guys. Ball drilled in low, skipped up, bicycle kick attempt! Awfully ambitious. It's super close to equalizing. Wow. Miles Morgan trying to pick up a highlight reel goal. Mac Learned was ready for it, though. Wow, what a take. That was clean. Revs 2 have another set-piece opportunity now. Not out of harm's way for a moment. Eric Klein will get on the end of it. Oliveira. Slip through the middle, the back heel. Not a bad idea. But the execution wasn't sharp enough. And it'll stay 1-0 despite a spectacular effort from Miles Morgan. Mac Learned was just that much better. Yeah, but talking about those college guys making their way back to the New York City program. A lot of those guys having been coached by Matt Pilkington, having been involved in this program since its inception in the academy. And he said it's been nice to have them back around. We know them quite well, and Joe Sacecki in particular, someone who was part of the academy since its inception. So that's always special to get one of those OGs back. They take pride as a program here in New York City FC 2 in having lineups that are almost entirely made up of players who spent time in this academy. But when it comes to these college guys returning, they're local players. They understand this environment. They know what's expected of them. And so it's just sort of a natural fit if they're looking to go pro, and such a seamless transition. Coming back to the place that laid your foundations as a footballer. This one cut back. Shot taken, punched away by Learned. Lunging for that one, and awarding another corner kick to Revs 2. Oliveira letting it fly. Couple of nice passes there from the home team as they're looking for a way to unlock the goal scoring. They've come awfully close. Swerving it, headed down, and just wide. That was everything they needed. That's the look you're hoping for there. Nodded towards the far post. Mac Lerner could only watch and hope. Once again, it's Miles Morgan nearly giving his team a goal. Sasaki. That's a good challenge. Not only that prevent the corner kick, but one possession for New York here. And by Asem. Sliding it out to Schneider Mimi. Here's a Bayasem once again. Swerving in, he cuts it over to the right-hand side. Darlene squares it to Oyerwoth. Nothing coming easy right now for New England. Ball swept in. That wasn't a bad look either. Just that marginal difference between scoring and not in this sport. And New England have been flirting with it throughout this game. So you got Matt Pilkington on one side, who has already coached over 100 MLS Next Pro matches with this New York City FC 2 side. And then you've got Pablo Moreira in his first year coaching in the MLS Next Pro ranks after years of being an assistant up at the MLS stage. He said he'd be lying if it hasn't been an adjustment coaching at this level. One of the big differences between the MLS and MLS Next Pro is just that consistency. These guys are capable of doing great things and making big plays. I mean, we just saw Miles Morgan execute very nicely on a bicycle kick. It's just about the consistent execution, which really separates guys at the MLS level versus MLS Next Pro. But he's really enjoyed this experience, Pablo Moreira, coaching at this level. Since it's been a breath of fresh air. Describe this league as having real purity to it. And these are guys going out here playing, trying to prove themselves. Nobody on those major designated player contracts or anything like that. This is where a lot of your motivation is just driven by love of the sport.
Second, well done. Miles, third.
Set piece chance here for New York City FC too. Muzu. Curling effort, headed along and wide. Took a glance off of a New England defender. So it'll be a corner kick now. This is going to be the first corner kick of the afternoon for New York after 5 already for New England. Ball drilled in, scuffled around, not out of the woods yet. Couple of tight touches. New York still had possession. Ball ripped in centrally and deflected away. Hunting for a second. They won't get it there, New York City FC 2. Younger roster out here today for this visiting side. You have a bit of a fracturing of the roster for this New York City FC program today, given the fact that the first team is playing at 4:30 against Columbus Crew. Back on the home field. So, not as much of that roster fluidity as you might get, especially when you're at home. Gotta commit to who's gonna make that travel and who's gonna stick around with the first team and be an available option at the top flight. Which is why we're seeing guys like David Duque, Caleb Danquat, Joao Loyola getting the chance to start for the first time. That's what this league is all about, really. A group of players that get competitive in many facets. I've been told these young guys like to compete playing all types of video games, or the mini hoop is also a way that they like to clash up against each other. I love shooting around on a mini hoop as well, so I can imagine just how intense that could get during the free time for these guys.
Come on, stay strong. Together.
Ball driven in, nodded straight up. And Mac Learned able to let it fall into the breadbasket.
Hey, don't wait for him to kick the ball. Run through the gap immediately. Okay? That job. Go, go. Lock it down. Yeah, just earlier. He says he's good. I'm sorry, I had to see what the injury was. Yes. Go, go. Okay, Darren. Yes, Koopa, open on the left. Koopa. Koopa. Darren, higher. Darren.
And Bayaseb nodding that one away from Muzu. But some pressure here from NYCFC too, and it ends up being a little bit too physical. Darlene. Dribbling it up ahead. Feeds it over to the right-hand side, and it's played back to him. Gabe Darlene. Long ball launched over top. Not a bad idea. Learned got his head on it. Wanted to make sure he didn't clutch it once he got outside the penalty area. Ultimately, it does the trick. Ball played in and tapped out. Could be a chance going forward here for NYCFC too. Laid over to the left-hand side. Cutting pass across the middle, unsuccessful. Drew Kerr trying to make it happen from the left wing. Also a guy getting a chance to start today, just his third appearance of the season. The first-year pro out of Duke. Molinari. Slides it over to the left. Good find down the left-hand side. Ball ripped over top. A little too much juice on that one. As you see, our fourth official holds up the sign. 1 minute tacked on here. Been a pretty free-flowing match for the most part, I should say. A couple of set pieces, but those usually don't really get accounted into stoppage time anyway. It's only when you get some fouls that the ref has to stop things and mull it over with the players on the pitch that you really start getting stoppage. So 1 minute will be tacked on, and unless something major occurs here in the next 30 or so seconds, it's going to be a 1-0 lead for NYCFC. Going into the break, the second team doing well. Lob ball overhead will bounce out harmlessly. And perhaps one more chance to launch forward for Donovan Parisian, should he choose to. Ball played short, and now it's up to our head official's discretion. It's at Carvajal, the man in the center of the pitch. Oh, that was scooted well forward there. Ref let it play. Ball switched over to the right-hand side. McIntosh trying to drive it in the middle. And that'll earn the halftime whistle here. It is 1-0 in favor of NYCFC 2. The goal coming from Sebastiano Muzu, a 25-year-old, able to wiggle him some space and give his team the lead. Coming up in our halftime show, we get to know a talented young player carving his own path in the Big Apple, and an announcement that will shift the landscape of MLS Next Pro. Highlights and stats are coming up after this brief timeout.
sentiment. Flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still staying ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best. Can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions. Trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next. Just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now. Oh yes. Man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Welcome back. There is no shortage of success stories in MLS coming out of the New York market. Another solid young player is making his way with NYCFC. So let's get to know Arnau Farnos.
I think for sure was my mom. She was the first one to know it because she was working, and I sent her a message and I was like, please don't call because we have a meeting right now. But like I have to tell you, like they just told me like they want me to sign first team deal. So she was like, oh my god. Yeah, it was definitely my mom. Hi, I'm Arnau Farnos, and I'm a midfielder / winger, and I play for New York City FC. When I signed here with the second team, my goal was always to be part of the first team, and since the moment I got drafted, that was my goal, that was my dream. And nothing is easy, you know, so that's why you have to work for it. Every call-up is an opportunity, and I'm thankful for the coaches to give me those opportunities. But like, it's not about the games, it's about every day, how you practice, how you prepare yourself, physically and mentally. And when the opportunity comes, that you have to be ready and know that if you have the opportunity, you have to prove yourself. They push you a lot, which is a really good sign. But they also have a really good connection with the team, special connection with the players also. And they are open, which is also important for a player because it gets you confident when you play and when you train. And he was always super close, coach and all the staff, and give me a lot of confidence to me. And that's why I feel like I'm super happy for being part of this team, for the confidence from the staff and also from the players. One of the things, for example, Nico always says when he's here is like, and I've took it from all the players as well, but like, you are doing what you like and what's your passion. So coming here to practice, you are privileged, you know, having this job, because you are doing something that you really like and you really can, you grow with it. And coming here every day, yeah, there is people working for you, for the treatment, they are cooking for you, and how many people would love to have and to be in the position that you are right now. So I would say just enjoy the moment, push yourself in the moment that you have to push yourself, and yeah, enjoy. Super excited at the moment when I saw the ball going in. I kind of didn't believe it at the beginning, but after it was like a happiness feeling, you know, especially after with all my teammates, like they congratulated me at the end of the game, and everybody came to support me and saying congratulations, and it was a really happy moment and special moment in my career. I think I had a lot of good coaches in my career. I would say probably when I was at Celta, I would say Claudio. But I would say my best moment playing soccer was the decision to make here and go to college. The 4 years at Oregon State with all the coaches I had and all the staff I had, they really helped me develop myself physically and mentally. And I think it was the step that I needed in order to be a professional soccer player. So I'm super grateful for the opportunity that the Oregon State gave me. Keep supporting us, keeping showing ourselves, keep coming to our games, because probably right now we are not having the best. We are not in the best moment of the season, but we for sure gonna come back, and we for sure gonna give some happy news soon to the fans.
Very excited to be here officially. You know, I helped out a little bit last year. You know, I really enjoyed my time working with the players, working with the staff. So, you know, I'm glad to be able to be on the staff full time and be involved. Towards the end of my career, I started thinking about what I wanted to do. You know, post playing, and coaching was something that for a while I didn't know if I wanted to do it. When my kids started to be a little bit older and I started doing it with them, I started enjoying it, and I thought I had a lot of knowledge that I could pass down to young players. That was kind of an easy decision after thinking about it. There's lots of different things that I can teach them from my career, but also, the mentality, the intensity, the winning mentality is what I want to bring to the young guys, because they're going to need that. I played at a high-level college, and I was still a little bit overwhelmed when I first got here, and it's the adaptation. If you don't do it quick at that time, then you were kind of out of the system. But now I think, especially with the academy and bringing those guys up and then moving into a environment like MLS Next Pro with North Texas, then I think it's a big jump in the quality of everything that is involved with this. And I think it's huge for developing players, I think, because there used to be a lot of guys who kind of got pushed out of the system if it wasn't working right away, but now those guys maybe get a second chance and can develop into good players. Yeah, it feels good. I mean, it feels like home. Like you said, I've been here for a long time. I know a lot of people here. I knew John beforehand. I knew a lot of the other staff beforehand, and even some of the players I still know. So it's just nice to be back in a familiar environment and be able to give these players my knowledge. This year, I think my goal is to improve our defensive solidarity. Obviously, I want to try to improve individually the players in the defensive line, help them improve their tendencies. But as a unit, I want our group to be solid and to give up less goals. That's always the goal. And for me, that was my big thing as a player throughout my career. I always wanted to give up less goals, and I think that's something I want to pass on to these defensive players.
MLS has agreed to a deal that will see global investment firm KKR make a strategic investment and partner with MLS Next Pro. KKR will inject capital into the league with an eye on growing the league and its footprint around the continent. In conjunction with the MLS, the partnership will oversee commercial strategy as it looks to move the 27 MLS affiliate Next Pro teams into new markets, with an eye on building brands within those communities and seeking stadium development deals. We will no doubt see and hear more about this in the coming seasons. Super exciting stuff here for the league in years to come, as the scoreline is 1-0 after 45 minutes between NYCFC 2 and New England Revolution 2. Mark Schoenster with you here on the broadcast. As we're waiting for that second half to get started, we've got some highlights getting ready for you here on the broadcast. You're tuning in on MLSNextPro.com and on OneFootball, as we now take a peek at what transpired over those first 45 minutes of action. A game in which Revs 2 may have had the larger sum of chances throughout the match, but just didn't have that clinicality in the final third to find the back of the net and give the home team the lead. It would be the visitors, New York City SC2, that would end up finding the goal, and it's Sebastiano Musu having to do a lot of work here, elbowing out some room, not literally but figuratively, and then slotting it home. Then this right here, What an exciting moment. Bicycle kick put on goal, punched over by Mac Learned. As we now get a chance to see some of the scores from earlier this weekend. New York Red Bulls 2 taking a loss against Toronto FC 2. The Red Bulls will be a side that NYCFC 2 will be facing next weekend in that rivalry matchup. Meanwhile, it's a game at Philly coming up for the home side as the league continues to unravel and open and intriguing and doing all these interesting things. Crown Legacy also losing, so the Eastern Conference still open for both teams to figure something out and perhaps hop one of those contenders as we see the, once again, 1-0 here. NYCFC 2 with the lead. We'll see if they can maintain it after this break as the second half gets closer and closer here. We'll see you after this.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Second half impending here as Revs 2 host NYCFC 2 from the college campus of Bryant University. 1-0 your scoreline. The visitors with the lead. Sebastiano Muzu able to do a little dance inside the penalty area, find some space, and slot it home. Mark Schoenster with you here on the broadcast. Can't wait to see how this one goes for the next 45 minutes. Teams will switch ends. It'll be Reds 2 going left to right, right to left for NYCFC 2. Uzu with the goal. Cooper Flax providing the assist. First assist of the season for Cooper Flax, by the way, the first team homegrown player. Meanwhile, second goal from Sebastiano Muzu. Edson Carvajal, our head official in the middle of the pitch, readying to sound the whistle and get things going here. And we are off and running here from Bryant University in Smithfield, Rhode Island. Reds 2 trying to find an answer. NYCFC 2 looking to see if they can hang on to this lead. They're in the same position they were in on Tuesday where they were up 1-0 against Chicago Fire 2. They found a second goal in the second half. End up conceding a goal to make it 2-1, but hung on for the result. Ball won back by Revs 2 as it's rotated over to the right-hand side for Demario McIntosh. Morgan rolls this one back into the middle for Eric Klein. Goes over to the right-hand side for McIntosh. Darlene. Roll over to Mussenden, and then it's glanced out of bounds. It'll be a deep throw in for Revs 2. Darlene gets tapped back out over to him. Give Darlene in a little bit of a bind here. Has to get the ball away. Darlene not wearing the captain's armband today. That pleasure goes to Eric Klein, but he has been given the armband in a couple of games this season. So one of those guys entrusted to that responsibility. And even if you're not wearing the armband, you're still one of the leaders on the team regardless, as this ball's lopped over top. And the offside flag pops up for Sebastiano Muzu. But Darlene told me that it's nice that Coach Pablo Moreira puts that trust in me to be able to wear the armband in matches, and when he gets the chance to wear it, he wears it with honor. I imagine it won't be the last time that CT United game that we'll see him in the armband this season, but every now and then you get one of those first-teamers who come in and just have that leadership capability. So not only wearing a captain's armband last game, but also technically playing out of position, although he wasn't too uncomfortable with being at the right back spot. That one couldn't be kept in bounds by Demario McIntosh. And so the visitors will get possession. Bayasem was getting swarmed there. And now the ball will be sprayed over to the right-hand side. An opportunity in transition for NYCFC too. What can they do with it? Ball squared across the middle. Laid out to the left-hand side. Drew Kerr tried to cut it across centrally. Instead, it reached a man in a blue jersey. And now Revs 2 will rush in the other direction. Ball sliding towards goal and nearly spilled out by Learned, but he's able to recoup. Mac Learned's had to make a couple of saves in this match so far. And he's been ready whenever his name has been called, including in some dynamic moments. So far, 6 saves in this match for Learned, who saves shots at about a 68% clip on the season. Anytime you got to make more than 5 or so saves in a game, you're being kept pretty busy. Of course, not every save is created equal. Sometimes you just get a ball rolling your direction, and technically it's on goal and you're able to fall on top of it easily. But he's had to make some punches in this one. In this case, the numbers match the eye test. Ball settled down by Kerr. He'll chop it over to the right-hand side. Ball won back by Schneider Mimi for Revs 2. Lovely slipped balls, just too far ahead of the intended target. You love the idea, though. Javon Mussenden making the run there. Ball launched all the way down the pitch. Donovan Parisian will take it. Get things going once again. Ball sent over to the right-hand side. On the ball now is Oliveira. Cristiano Oliveira. Up the top. Headed down and then nodded over. Excellent defending there. Joao Loyola. Keeping it from besting his keeper. Not a bad cross. A fought-for header by Shuma Sasaki. And that gives his side a corner kick. Ball driven in. Two-fisted punch from Learned. Six corner kicks to just one in this match in favor of Revs 2. Can sometimes be a good indicator of how the game has been flowing. Not always an accurate indicator, but a lot of this game has taken place in the attacking half for Revs 2. As they once again foray in again. But having the ball in dangerous spots doesn't mean that you're actually dangerous, so they've had some good moments throughout this game. But the sport can be cruel. And if you're a visiting team on the road, sometimes you do have to suffer more in a match, and when the moment comes for you, you have to take advantage of it, and that's exactly what Mount Pilkington's team has done. But can they hang on? Ball slid forward. And the decision will be goal kick. Back Learned on the ball. Trying to rip it down that left-hand side to Kieran Smith. One of the many guys who is either a part of or was a part of the NYCFC Academy. Something that Matt Pilkington takes particular pride in. Takes time for you to reap the rewards of something like that or see the product of your efforts. As this one's rotated over to McIntosh. Not a bad feed inside. Turned in by Oliveira and cleared out. Mussenden. Stepping in. Finds Klein. Eric Klein down the middle. Couple of tight passes. And that's a handball in the penalty area. And the penalty kick has been awarded. It was pretty clear as day from our vantage point. And Edson Carvajal saw it too. Ball's popped up. right here. Yeah, you can't say that's a natural position as it goes off of the arm of Joe Sacecki, the center back. And stepping up to the plate is Miles Morgan. 20-year-old from Pickering, Ontario. His first year with Revs 2, but has experience in MLS Next Pro, having played with both Toronto FC 2 and Whitecaps 2. Already has 2 goals this season. He'll be looking to tack in his third and tie this game up. One-on-one with Mac Learned. Up to this point, has been perfect on the day. 6 saves on 6 shots on target. Morgan does away with it. Placed right in the bottom left corner. And we are all tied up here.
Revolution 2, goal scored by number 21 in the 52nd.
Miles Morgan just dragging that one to the left post. And immediately gets the ball, hoping to reset. Because in their mind, they still have business to do. So 1-1 your scoreline. And as this game has gone along, it has been the home team that has had the bulk of offensive opportunities, so you would think they're the more likely side to find a second here, but after a goal, vibes shift, attitudes change, and sometimes that's the jolt you need as a team on the road to get aggressive again. Obviously, you never want the goal to be the reason that occurs, but this shot takes a deflection. Learned had to react. This could be tricky for a goalkeeper when it takes just a light glance. The trajectory changes and you have to be quick to lunge down and make the stop anyway. It's always those first 5 minutes after a goal that you're always looking at the body language, the attitude of players on both sides. Because on one end, you could score a goal, and you could see relief and perhaps not as much aggression and urgency as you were seeing prior to the goal. And on the flip side, sometimes you can hang the head low after you concede, and that's the moment to strike again if you're the team that just scored. But both of those things could also be the complete opposite reactions after having scored or having conceded. So mentality is such an important thing in this sport. McIntosh. Up the right-hand side, Morgan tried to cut it back into the stride of McIntosh. You like the idea, the execution, just not quite there. On the ball now is Sacecki. The one guilty of the handball. Also the one donning the captain's armband for the visitors here today. Mentioned he's one of 4 players added to the roster this season who have experience in the academy, but opted to go play the college game. Kieran Smith. Knocked out of his clutches, but it will stay with NYCFC too. There's already so many things a coaching staff for a second team has to do as far as personnel is concerned. I mean, you're juggling, getting to know guys in the academy, getting to know guys on your roster, and getting to know players on the first team who may have the opportunity to come and play with the next pro squad. And then on top of that, you've got some of these dudes who were in your academy now playing at the college level, and you're trying to keep in touch with them as well. Matt Pilkington mentioned that they try to keep up with these players when they're at the college game, and obviously it can be a little bit easier to keep tabs on top performers at the highest level as this one's lifted up. And kept in play by Sasaki. Shuma Sasaki Jutting in. Knocked over. Another penalty awarded. Shifty Shuma Sasaki gets tripped up. As you see him taking on a defender here. Knocked over, and Edson Carvajal sounds his whistle. He was the one who drew the penalty, and now Shuma Sasaki will be the one to take it. Looking to score his first professional goal in his first professional start. Sasaki. A guy they really like and just haven't had the opportunity to play because there have been some visa issues. He's been stuck in Japan. But now he's here and is looking to achieve his first milestone. Sasaki gives his team the lead. Smashing it home. The Japanese winger gets flocked by teammates. Sasaki celebratory in his finish. And that's going to be his final shift in this match as well, as he'll be subbing off for Jaden Daw. As we also see a couple of substitutions for the visitors as well. Jill D'Souza and Henrik Havatum will sub into the game.
2 goals scored by number 16 in the 63rd minute.
So Daw will sub in for the most recent goal scorer. And then also coming off, as far as NYCFC 2 are concerned, you see Dankwa seeing his afternoon come to an end as Havatum and Souza sub on.
68 in for 79 and number 46 in for 27.
Cooper Flax will also make his exit
4th minute.
for NYCFC 2. So, 2 penalty kicks have given Revs 2 the lead. Trying to find their goal-scoring form, and although you'd love to score an open play, you're going to take goals wherever you can get them, and it's not like either penalty kick was questionably won. It's a clear handball in the penalty area, and then Shuma Sasaki creating some space for himself, and then getting tripped up in the process. That could have resulted in a goal. As now Sasaki subs out of the game for Daw. And he'll get a hug from his coach and some high fives. Already got surrounded by all his teammates after he scored. Obviously you love to score the run of play, but when you have a penalty kick as your opportunity to get your first pro goal, it's almost like everybody on the bench, all your teammates, can get ready to celebrate with you should you score. Leads itself to being a nice moment for the young professional. So, 2 goals just 5 minutes apart for Revs 2 has flipped this game and now gives them the lead. Some fresh legs in the game for Matt Pilkington's team. They'll see if they can generate a response now. the first meeting of the season between these two sides. They'll play again twice over the summer. Have matches in August and July. Of course, not in that order. It will be the other way around, but the next game will actually be here as well before that final game takes place over in New York. Arnett will just keep that out of harm's way. Now, this is where you've got to lean on some of these guys who have spent more time within your system, have an understanding of how to attack the game if you're New York City FC too. A lunging slide there from Joe Sacchetti, keeping that one from rolling to Jaden Daw. Lovely ball over top. Hefty collision. And Eric Klein going into the books for that one. Believed to be a high boot there for Eric Klein. And that's actually Oliveira, the one who gets the yellow card and making that run. His second yellow of the season. So Cristiano Oliveira going into the books. The 18-year-old from Somerville, Massachusetts. Another one of those first-team players who's been getting some burn here with the second team. Although it may have been several years for some of these players who have gone off to the college ranks and returned to actually play an official match, a lot of these guys end up training with the teams they went to the academy for during the summers. That's definitely the case for guys like Joe Sacchetti, guys like Flax, who had the assist in this game. It makes it easier to keep that familiarity going once they have the chance to get signed as professionals, but also it's a good signifier that they're committed to their journey and development, that they want to come back to where they know they were getting quality training and learning a lot. You don't just take the summer off because you're not playing matches. You got to keep grinding and honing your craft, especially when you're playing at the college level where the schedule is so limited. It's always a big adjustment for players in their first year as a professional coming from the college ranks, is that the season is just so much longer. So you have to develop some of that mental endurance that the months upon months upon months can stack onto you. Like, we're already 2 months into this season, and there's still so much more to go. Whereas 2 months into a college soccer season, and you're already starting to think about the conference tournament. Managing the game from this point going to be pretty important for Revs 2. This is where your fundamentals are so important. Pablo Moreira mentioning that each week they probably spend about 80% of the time focusing on themselves, and this is where it needs to bear fruit. That other 20% in drills and film reviews, etc., on preparing for your particular opponent. You incorporate the main things that your opposition is going to do through drills and training sessions. But you're always trying to build and reinforce your principles as a team. It's always such an interesting balance. How much do you prepare for an opponent versus how much are you just trying to keep your identity growing Busy day in MLS Next Pro, as it usually is on a Sunday. We appreciate you tuning in and getting the action started. We'll get a couple more games kicking off right around when this one ends at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Both of those games happening out west, though. Timbers 2 in Ventura County, along with LAFC 2 and Real Monarchs. But we kept getting matches as the evening wears along. So this one's sprayed across the middle and escorted out of danger for Revs 2. Clean but tough collision there. The visitors trying to find something here. Sliding ball across the middle. Second service bounces off the defender. Appeals for a handball won't be given. Here's Kieran Smith. One of the academy guys getting the chance to play a lot this season. His 5th start in 6 appearances. Good patience being demonstrated here by NYCFC 2. And now, is the time to be cutthroat. Cross swerving in, and Parisian claims it. Rolls out the carpet from Bayasem. And then a little too much juice on that one. All squared out wide. On the ball now is Kerr. Drew Kerr. Ripping it into the middle! A lunging header that wouldn't have counted. The offside flag pops up. It was a nice ball delivered in. But it wouldn't have counted as we get another change for Pablo Moreira's crew. Carlos Zambrano subbing on for Oliveira.
Revolution 2, number 11 for number 35 in the 74th minute.
Back and forth it goes between the center backs and the goalkeeper, McLearned. Down it goes the left-hand side, Kerr. Trickles through! It's an equalizer for New York City FC 2! Henrik Havatam, the academy kid. We've got another first. The ball bounces by the first target. And Havatam ready to skip that one towards goal. 17 years old. And now has his first goal in the pro ranks.
New York City FC goal scored by number number 68.
We are tied back up again. A good flow of chances here for the visitors, and now they have something to show for it once again. 15 more minutes to go. The game is back open for either to take. Are they onto something here again? Havatum jutting inside, the pass is behind. Dragging down. It'll be a free kick, a professional foul executed there by Kieran Smith. And he's aware of the punishment you're going to get for a throwdown like that. That'll be a second yellow card of the season.
Yellow card issued to NYCFC number 52 in the 77th minute.
That's rotated back. Eric Klein sliding it to the right. Zambrano's pass ends up going to a center back. How do the home side respond after this game gets leveled up once again? Mimi. His cross blocked away. Both of their goals having been scored via penalty kicks, so in run of play, they haven't been able to find the back of the net. Dalin out to the right-hand side. Zambrano trying to work his way inside. Dalin's ball fed into the corridor. No one could get to it. A little heavy, a touch there from Schneider Mimi. But he can keep it in bounds, and they'll once again go to work. Well, that was nearly beautiful work from Miles Morgan, but the ball just rolled away from him. And now stretching in the other direction. It's a jostling for the ball. Muzu and Mbaya Sem both pursuing it. And the center back victorious here. Ball played out to McIntosh. Back in centrally for Mussenden. Play will go on. NYCFC 2, they had the lead to start this game. Can they reclaim it? Ball ripped inside! Oh, what a save! Ball still in play! And Parisian falls on top of it. Spectacular from Donovan Parisian. Incredible stuff from the 21-year-old goalkeeper. It looked like a done deal, but Donovan Parisian had other thoughts in mind. Ten more minutes to go of the 90. McIntosh squares it into the middle. Oyerwoth. Down the middle. A little too much grabbing there from Sebastiano Muzu. Stepping forward. This one fed to Klein. Ball lifted across. Headed away. And the offside flag goes up. We got to take a look at this save again. I mean, it's great work. I mean, that is a beautiful ball, knotted down. And Parisian with the twitch reaction, denying the pleasure to Drew Kerr, looking for his first professional goal. And also importantly, keeping this one at 2-2. Been a lot of excitement in this affair. Both teams really going for it here. These are the two lowest scoring teams across MLS Next Pro. So, one thing's for certain. You tell these coaches it would be 2-2. They'll at least be happy with the production as Da. Just too heavy a first touch. End up spending that time trying to recover the ball as he chased it to the byline. This is a good find. To Mario McIntosh, driving in and beating the keeper. The right back screaming down and giving his team the lead once again.
Revolution 2 goal scored by number 19.
To Mario McIntosh, scoring his first goal at the MLS Next Pro level. Usually more of a supplier, but this time, he's the one demanding all the attention. Straight through the wickets of McLaren. And he gets shoved around by the guys in the pennies on the sideline. And Revs 2 once again have the lead. This has been a dramatic second half of action. 4 goals between these two teams. And now a goal in the run of play for Revs 2 after 2 penalty kick goals to start this one. A lot to be excited about throughout this match. Goals aplenty. Some good saves from both goalkeepers. And a lot of action to witness. On to something else here. Shot taken and blocked away immediately. Carlos Zambrano, the one hopeful there. Klein drags us over to the right-hand side for McIntosh, our most recent goal scorer. Darlene. Not going to force anything. And now he'll launch it over to McIntosh. Oh, how about that touch? McIntosh into the middle. It trickles out. Mussenden. McIntosh trying to redirect it out wide to Zambrano. And now NYCFC 2 will stretch it. A lot of pushing there from Chris and Bayasem. Gets a glance on the ball, so it will be a throw-in for NYCFC 2. As it appears, we're going to get 2 substitutions for Pablo Moreira.
Substitution for Revolution 2, number 15, in for number 23.
Yeah, Jake Shannon and Sherrod George are going to sub into the game for Mussenden and Morgan. So Morgan, the goal scorer, will sub out of the match, or at least one of the goal scorers in this game. And then Sherrod George will get his 3rd appearance of the season, and also worth noting, turns 22 today. So happy birthday to Sherrod George. What else did you want to do on your birthday then? Play the sport you've worked so hard to get to this level to play. Stout defending there from Demario McIntosh, a goal scorer and a lockdown player on the right-hand side. The first teamer from Newark, California. Not the Newark you were probably expecting. And offside flag pops up. The ref won't even grant the whistle here because advantage plays over to Parisian. And he's going to wait for someone to press him before he picks up this ball. As any wise goalkeeper would.
Go, win it! First, second, well done, Harry.
Hopeful ball up ahead by Schneider Mimi. Won't reach the man it was hoping to, as now the ball sent over to Havatam. The last man to score for NYCFC 2. And good defensive work there from Chris Mbayasem, who gets dapped up by 2 teammates. Time becoming of the essence for the visiting side. A game that has swayed back and forth several times. Started with an NYCFC 2 lead going into halftime. 2 penalty kicks flipped the script. The visitors had an answer, but then Demario McIntosh, the most recent goal scorer, at least for now, ball lifted across. Not a bad idea from Havatam. On the other end of things, ball won back by NYCFC 2. That'll be a foul. Ball taken away. New England driving down. Ball played to the left. And the timing just wasn't right there, and it looked offside live.
Revolution 2, number 10 in the 90th minute. The fourth official has issued
Jaden Daw
some extra time.
being issued a yellow card, by the way. His 4th of the season, as we also get 4 minutes of stoppage time tacked on. That is the amount of time that NYCFC 2 have left to hunt for an equalizer. And for Revs 2 to hang on tight. And they will take their precious time whenever they have the chance to do so. Good turn from Daw. Jaden Daw has it glance up in the air. And it's caught by McLearned. Chris Mbayasem. Shrugging off the man in front of him. And he'll keep going. Chris Mbayasem, the center back, venturing forward, and he'll spray it to the corner, but just too far ahead. He's making Sherrod George earn that one, which is not exactly what you're trying to do here with just over 2 minutes left to go. Get a little excited as a center back, though, when you find yourself pushing forward into the attacking half. And the visitors generate something here. Smith. Rolling it back to the top of the 18. Curling ball. Headed away by Mimi. Swerving in, taking a shot, and it's well off target for Havatum. You can see some frustration from the teenager after that one got off his boot. A little over a minute left to go, plus whatever Edson Carvajal determines is proper after the 4 minutes tacked on. Parisian driving that one. Didn't have a ton of air underneath it, but it certainly had pace. Darlene stepping into that pass. And now he'll be going forward as a center back. Gabe Darlene by himself. Lays it to his left. The only man that he could have. Now Zambrano. Will he go to the corner? He'll cut it inside. But possession could not be retained by New York City FC 2. And this may be the last bit of interaction here. Unless the visitors can win the ball back immediately. And the final whistle sounds. Both teams came in hunting for goals. Well, they got that. But it's New England Revolution 2 that collect all 3 points in this first meeting of the season. 3-2, your final score in what was an exciting affair, especially in the second half. But it's 3-2 in favor of New England after the final whistle. A lot of good options here as far as who our man of the match could be. But I think the answer is going to be the one that you most suspect. Today's man of the match is going to be Demario McIntosh of New England Revolution 2 and is presented by Adidas. Let's take a look at that game-winning goal. McIntosh just running down all by his lonesome as far as teammates are concerned. So he has to handle the job, and boy does he. Slides it by McLearned and gives his team all 3 points with that game-winning goal. Has a couple assists over his career in MLS Next Pro. That, though, is his first goal. With that in mind, though, this is where our show will end here. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Mark Schoenster. Once again, our final score is 3-2 in favor of New England. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. Have a good afternoon, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.